Okay, class, let's take a look. According to our previous lesson, basically we are in, the Abhidhamma. In chapter 4, early development in Buddhism, we are in the Abhidhamma. So class, take a look. In previous lesson, we talk about regarding the Abhidhamma, and 7 Abhidhamma have been introduced in the previous lesson. Then it said the Bhatana, we mentioned the Bhavanga is a mood of the Chitta, which is seen as the resting state of the consciousness, as exists in the dreamless state. So how do we understand the concept of the Bhavanga? Let me try to use the brain and try to explain. Basically, Bhavanga, how do we define? Bhavanga actually is our life continuum, which is passively, which is in passive mode. We can hardly detect it. Compare what we see, what we hear. It's easy for us to recognize for our 5 faculty activity. For example, you see here the sound. Okay, so the sound through my ear. Then my ear, we try to analyze it. Then we know the sound come to the ear, the nerve, and from the end, and it will be in electrical form, and will be transformed to the brain. It will transmit to the brain, and in the brain, you will start to analyze what is the significance of the sound, and then you analyze it. So the whole thing, we call it as an active cognitive process. It's very active. But Bhavanga is something which is different, which is the passive, meaning to say we are unable to detect it. Usually, it will only exist during we are in the deep sleep. So how do we understand that? Basically, maybe the best way is usually this type of Bhavanga can refer as the subconscious. So class, take a look. So here is the brain. Well, the brain basically they will correspond with the different organ. You see the skin, the nose, the ear, the eye, and the tongue. You see, all is in the in the gray area of the brain. But the inner area of the brain, we call it as a subconscious. Basically, they are still active, but we are unable to detect it. Especially the stem brain. The stem brain is active all the time. So sometimes I try to deduce that stem brain is a partial of the Bhavanga. So we don't really know the stem brain is functioning. We don't really know, we can't feel from the brain, but we just know once we keep on breathing, our heartbeats keep on pumping, then we know that yes, there must be something, the brain is still active. So that one we call as a Bhavanga. During we sleeping, even though all 5 faculty will be shut down temporarily, they are inactive, but we're still alive once we wake up. So this is different from a living being and a dead person, because the stem brain is still active. So the Bhavanga is still active there. So I try to use the easy ways, the science ways, to make us to understand regards this. Okay, now we come to the next paragraph. Then before they say the mind then flick back into the Bhavanga level before turning onwards the same or another sense object, such as the sound. So meaning to say that if let's say class C, if let's say the brain for all this part doesn't function, if let's say you see or not, if let's say that our brain in the gray area, they are not functioning. So according to the Abhidhamma, we will turn towards to the Bhavanga. But once the mind active, we will be no more in Bhavanga and start the mind start functioning and start active through the 5 faculty. So this is how we try to understand. Okay, so we go to the next paragraph. Okay, next, Sally, please, can you read the passage?
The Abhidhammas focus on momentary reality seeks to seek the full power of the transcendent. Noble 8 factor path is lasting for a very short time. The Theravada sees each of the past states immediately after which a person becomes a stream enterer, once returner, non-returner, and arahant, as lasting only one moment each. The Savasida sees this as lasting 15 moments each. The Noble Eight Factor Path is of this kind of view, an achieved state rather than something a person practices. All practice is done at the level of the ordinary eight-factor path. When this accumulates in the noble path, a person is deeply aware of nirvana.
Actually, we pronounce this as Savasdivada. Sarvasdivada.
Savasdivada. Yeah.
Savasdivada.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, basically, I can say actually the author, he knows Abhidhamma quite well. Why do I say so? You see, basically, for those who study the Nikaya Abhidhamma, there will be some different. For Abhidhamma, when I say that, like I say, oh, Mr. Leong attained, Arahan, become an Arahan, become a Sotapan, become a non-returner. Basically, they judge based on the momentary, based on the moment. Because why do we say so? According to Abhidhamma, once you attain to the supramande, it will begin with the one moment only. Then that one moment we call it as a path. The path. The path is one moment. At that particular moment, you are considered as a sage already. So no matter a sotapan, anagami, arahan, or is actually considered within one moment. But anyway, the one moment is already enough to eradicate the important defilement. So that's why you are still different. Even after that moment, we will still call you as a sage because you will be, once the karma eradicated, you will be totally gone and no more, it wouldn't appear anymore. So that is a different from ordinary people with the sage. So class, you see here, you see it's a momentary reality, you see. Okay, I see each of the path status, you see, as lasting only one moment each, you see. For all the attainment for this, just only one moment only. So let me show you. So this is okay, I should show you. I should show you with Abhidhamma. Okay, class, can you take out your Abhidhamma? Abhidhamma. Let's see, Abhidhamma. Okay, Abhidhamma, let's see. I have to put an example, basically referring to list on the table. So we go to the chapter number 4, number 5, chapter number 4. Yeah, one absorption jhana 169. Let's take a look. 169. Okay, see. Here is a 169. Now, this is a attainment of the path and the fruit. Basically, because it is moment by moment, you see or not. VAMPR. This one, class, take a look. This is the path. This is the fruit. Once you attain, for example, as a non-returner, just moment of the path is already as a sotapan, and one moment of the path is already enough to eradicate some defilement. So we call you as a sotapan. You see, this is why we say it's a momentary reality. Only by moment is enough. If you read the Nikaya, usually we have the perception that we call, oh, he is a sotapan. We will thought, oh, whole day and whole night he is a sotapan, and once you attain as a sotapan, so the rest of the life we will call him as a sotapan. But for Abhidhamma, no, it's a momentary reality. At that particular moment, you are the sotapan. But once that particular moment gone already, basically you still experience the vibhaka as a human. See or not? So that is the meaning of the momentary reality. But anyway, even though I don't call you sotapan anymore, but the defilement which have been eradicated permanently, you are different from us already, because some defilement already eradicated. For example, the defilement regards to the self, okay, and the riches, okay, which and emphasize to the richer that which the calf will do, and then lastly, and then the skeptical so once you eradicate it, it will totally gone for goods. So let's take a look here. And here he said, but the Sarvastivada will be a little bit different. So let me show you who are the Sarvastivada. So class, take a look. This is the Sarvastivada. Basically, Sarvastivada and also the Tauya Timsa, they are original from one school. So take a look. This is the Sarvastivada. Okay, Tauya Timsa, not here. It's from here. Let's see. Okay. Class, take a look. Yeah. Now you see, this is the Sarvastivada. So this is the Tamra Satya. Class, basically Tamra Satriya is our present Theravada. So this is the Sarvastivada. You see, basically their origin from, here, the Vibhaja or Watin and the Theravada, they origin from a one school. They're split to two. So meaning to say, basically both of them is come from one mother, and then they become a son here. Okay, let's take a look. So meaning to say that they will be a little bit different because they're already splitting already. They say Sarvastivada see this as the lasting 15 moment each. Not one moment only. It takes 15 moments for each. Then here they say all the practice is done at the level of ordinary 8-factor path. So this is what we know lah, 8 noble path in order to attain to the Nibbana. Okay, now we go to the early school and their doctrine. So class, you see, Abhidhamma finished. Looks so simple, right? Or compare the Abhidhamma, the calculation we do. Wow, that one is abundant. And only chapter 2 only. Yes, how about Sally? Can you catch up the calculation already? Basically, on the mic.
Still doing.
Ah,
Still doing the calculation.
still
I'm doing part by part.
Part by part, but just follow it lah, more familiar with all the terminology, it will be fine lah, right? Okay,
Okay.
gradually we'll get it. Mr. Leong, have you given up the part calculation, Abhidhamma?
I didn't go into the calculation, Sifu.
Never mind. As long as you know the theory will be enough. Hey, class, no matter you know the calculation or you don't or ignore the calculation, it won't. There will be no much influence to your meditation and the jhana and vipassana. Not much influence actually. But by knowing this is part of Abhidhamma. You will understand the terminology and the theory behind more thoroughly. So one day, if let's say as a teacher like me, I have to know this thoroughly, right or not? Okay, it depends on what you need. So, Sally, so you just prepare to kill some brain cell before you can know the whole thing. Never mind, just training so that the dementia won't come to you. Better than playing the mahjong, right? We will play mahjong to avoid the dementia. So you just do the Abhidhamma calculation to avoid to affect the dementia. Alzheimer. Okay. Get away from you. Okay, we come to the early school and their doctrine. Yeah, Mr. Leong, please, Mr. Leong.
The early schools and their doctrines. Within the monastic fraternities originating from the Saviras of the first schism, three systematic schools of thought developed during the 3rd century BCE, the Pugalavada, Sarvastivada, and Vibhayavada. The fraternities originating from the Mahasanghikas were more doctrinally open and so drawn on ideas from these Vadas and later took to Mahayana's ideas more readily. The Pugalavadins or personalists were dissatisfied with the doctrinal non-acceptance of any kind of substantial self, while other schools saw sutta references to the personal as merely a conventional way of referring to the collection of khandhas, which were empty of any self-essence. They saw the person as being just as real as the khandhas, a kind of subtle self which, being an organic whole that included them, was neither the same as nor distinct from them. Over time, it was neither identical nor different, neither eternal nor non-eternal. Though criticized by all other Buddhist schools, the Pugalavadins were quite successful, and in the 7th century CE, under the patronage of the Emperor Hassa, a quarter of Indian monks belonged to their school. Notable fraternities that follow the Pugalavadin line were the Vasiputriyas and the Samadhiyas. They later died out, however, and only a few short texts of theirs survive. The Sarvastivadins or Pan-realists became the dominant school in the North India, especially in the Northwest, under the patronage of Kanishka, who grew in the late 1st or early 2nd century CE. From here, they become influential in Central Asia on the route to China. This canonic Abhidhamma survives in Chinese translation. They became known for their view that not only present dharmas exist, but also past and present ones. They argue that knowledge of past and future must have objects which are existent, and that the past dharmas must exist in order to explain how past karma affects the present. They also saw positive and negative dispositions as existence even when their conscious expressions were absent. Their opponents argued that only present dharmas exist and that the effect-producing impetus of past karma continues in the present. The Sarvastivadians held that past and future dharmas differ from things which are pure illusions and from conceptual labels for groups of dharmas in that they each have specific own nature, a unique defining characteristics that is intrinsic to it and is present whenever and however it exists. There was a related tendency to refine them as fundamental and indivisible ultimate reality. They are seen as primary existence, while everyday realities such as trees and people were seen as secondary conceptual ones. For example, the only reality that a person has is that the cluster of dharmas that the conceptual label person applies to. Moreover, that which binds dharmas together in a person is itself dharma, known as prati or possession.
Okay, thank you so much. Mr. Leong,
Yes.
you haven't fully recovered from the sore throat, right?
Not yet, not yet. Still not well yet.
Or not well, okay. Well, anyway, actually your sound for me is quite magnetic. Yeah. If you do if you're going to record a song and release a single song album, I sure will buy it. Because so magnetic and attractive. Very charismatic.
Yeah, my voice and become more mellow.
Off the mic, please. Okay. Okay, class, take a look. Now we start to talk about the early school and their doctrine. Class, according to the history of Buddhism, Buddha once after Parinibbana, it takes 200 years. After just within 200 years, we see about 20 schism here. Class, take a look. 20 schism is within 200 years only. Okay. Then there's two major school. We just bear in mind the two major school. So class, number one is the Stavira. Actually, it's some sort like in Chinese mean the Theravada. One more is a Mahasamgika. So things to bear in mind. Mahasamgika is very influential to Mahayana. To the Mahayana school is very influential. Whereas the Sarvastivada, here we will see the Sarvastivada come out here. The Stivara, Sarvastivada. This Sarvastivada school, they are very popular in the northwest India. Plus, basically, they are very active in this part of the Buddhism. Let's take a look. They're very active in this part. Northwest of the China of India now, they will be very active, and then they have some abhidhamma which is unique and only exists in Mandarin Chinese only. And then a class here, one thing we don't see there's one of the name of the Tauya Timsa. Tauya Timsa. The reason is because different schools, they have their own way to see the schism. Most of the school they will emphasize themselves. And here, most of the school actually, why we know they exist, but basically it's just because they leave one or two sentences in the Sutta and Abhidhamma, then we know they exist. That's all. Even though we said we got 200 something like that, 20 something, but most of them, we don't see them anymore. The most influential is the Sarvastivada here. Basically, in 100 Tipitaka, of volume of 100 Tipitaka, mostly of the Abhidhamma is come from the Sarvastivada. So whereas where's the Theravada? We don't see the Theravada from this diagram, but from this diagram we are able to see the Theravada. Let's take a look. You see, this is a Tamrak Satya. This is the Theravada, which is from the Vibhajavati, and basically they are same level with the Sarvastivada, with the Stivara. And according to the history, once Buddha Parinibbana, about after 2 centuries of Buddha Parinibbana, this type of we call it as Tauya Timsa, they are start to moving from India. They start moving from India to Sri Lanka already. Let's take a look. They start moving already. It's about this we call it as Tauya Timsa. They're from India and moved to the Sri Lanka, and from Sri Lanka they spread to the Myanmar, Thailand, all these places. Okay, but it happened is during 200 years after Buddha Parinibbana. So meaning to say that from after Buddha Parinibbana 200 years before Christ, okay, and then including 1,200 years, Buddhism survived in India for 2,200 years, meaning to say about 1,400 years. What happening in India? Timsa, they don't know what is happening. That's why today, if you go to talk to the Theravada monk, they don't know all this. For them, they just say, okay, according to our tradition, we are the Buddha teaching. They will say it this way. They don't realize they are one out of 20 schism. They don't know that, except they study history of Buddhism. No matter which, even though they got so many versions, but we know that after Buddha Parinibbana, they got 20 schism just after Buddha, 200 years after Buddha Parinibbana. And basically, we all have a common sense that Sarvastivada will go to the northwest India, Sarvastivada will go to the northwest India, northeast or northwest Indian. They're very popular here, and then from here they spread to the China. Okay, they spread to the China. So this is how we know that lah. And then here, this we call it as a Sarvastivada. Here it's a Timsa. They are different in very one unique thought to make them have a schism. For Sarvastivada, he say, the Dharma must have an object, and the Dharma exists of the present, future, and the past. They say, three of them must possess the object one. You see, if without the past, we don't have the present. Without the present, we don't have the future. Sound logic, right? So we call it as Sarvastivada. Sarvasa mean all. Present, future, present, past, and the future. Sarvas, that's the meaning. Vada means that exists, you see, or exists. So meaning to say, they say present, past, future, both in the three time period, they all exist. Whereas for the Timsa, okay, nowadays the Theravada, they say only presence is reality only. And past already passed. Future not yet coming. So present is the most important thing. So that is the crucial point why they split out from the Theravada. See or not?一啲唔爽係咪？你就走啦，你走你嘅，我走我哋嘅。Mr. 師兄同我哋一樣嘛，有一間屋係咪幾個 family 住一齊？又唔啱好啦，你又搬開佢啦。Ceremony in Buddhism usually just because one perception, one idea is different, but I think my one is a Buddha teaching. You think you are the Buddha teaching, and where is the Buddha? Nibbana already what? So who is the king? I am the king, you are the king, so the best we separate. So that's the reason why I will see 20 schools 就係咁嘅原因。You get it or not? So basically, this is what happening from the text we studied just now lah. Okay, so this is the major concept here. Okay, let me try to give you the details. You see not? Okay, here will be a little bit different. We will see three names. One is the Bugalavata. Okay, so we're trying to find out the Bugalavata. Okay, class, do you see Bugalavata? Bugalavata, do you see here or not? Okay, no, right? We don't see Bugalavata here, am I right? Sally, Mr. Leong? No, no Bugalavata. Okay, so we take a look to other second diagram. Is there any Bugalavata here? No, right? Okay, so meaning to say the two slides doesn't present the version from the textbook lah. Okay, okay, so I can't find. Remember, I can't find this version Mr. Leong, I think if you go to the meditation retreat center in Theravada, they all don't study this type of stuff, right? They never
No, I haven't heard of this during meditation retreat.
Of course, this is the hindrances for the meditation. You always think of this school, that school, that school, that school, like a calculation in Abhidhamma. You during meditation, people never think about that. But I mean, even during the teaching and the leisure talking, they never talk about that, right? If you go to the this you can only see usually in the university academic study, because they have to know why Theravada Mahayana so different. They have to trace back. So that's why this type of schism is very important, to tell you the reason why the difference at the present moment. Okay, we don't see it, doesn't matter. Then let's take a look. You see, the second school important is the 3rd century before Christ. You see, Sarvastivada. So class, Do you see Sawastiwada? Do you see Sawastiwada? You see here, right?
Yes.
Yes, I see Sawastiwada it appeared already. Okay, then again, we find one more important school beside the Sawastiwada. There's one more school which is very important. It's here. Vibhajaya Vatta. Vibhajaya Vatta. Let's take a look. Vibhajaya Vatta. Okay, do you see Vibhajaya Vatta? Or Vibhajaya Vatti? Here, right? Okay, Vibhajaya, here, right? See or not? So this is a Tauya Timsa. This is the Tauya Timsa, which is a present Theravada. Their split come from this one, Vibhajaya Vatti. Okay, so we can see here clearly already. And then the Sawastiwada at the bottom. Okay, so we see this is the three of the major school, and here you see Mahasamgika. They are doctrinally open. Minor ideas more readily for the Mahasamgika. Class, do you see where is the Mahasamgika? Do you see? Seri, where is the Mahasamgika? Here, right, Seri? Correct?
Yes, can see.
Yeah, I can see a Mahasamgika. So they say Mahasamgika basically is a doctrinally open. You know why they are more doctrinally open? Mr. Leung, you think why they are more doctrinally open compared with the Theravada? You know why?
I don't know why, people.
The reason because they are young.
Young.
What does it mean Theravada? Theravada mean the elder, you know, mean the old people. Then this one, Mahasamgika means what? Progressive. Always up to the date. So that is the reason how they split. So you realize no matter in the family or in the business, basically that is the reason why we'll see team A and team B mostly one is the young one, they're progressive or they're up to the date. One the elder is more conservative. Am I right? So it's the same thing happened in the Buddhism. Okay. So no matter you like it or not, it's the same only. So we see Mahasamgika is here. Okay, then again you see the Buddhgala Vatti. Now we don't see this school name in our diagram. They say the dissatisfied of what they say. The doctrinal non-acceptance of any kind of a substantial self, they say. Because they say a Buddhgala Vatti, they say, you must have one substantial self, they say. Whereas other school, they refer the Sutta person merely as a conventional self. Okay, referring to the collection of the Khanda, which were empty of any self essence. Meaning to say that when we see person, we call it as we see it as a conventional way. But basically, if let's say in the reality, they are actually non-self one. But for Buddhgala Vatti, they say they're supposed to be a substantial self. Also, okay, substantial self. This is a brief only, we don't go detail, just a brief only. So we know that, this substantial self, and other school think about that, the self should be conventional and ultimate true. So they come out by themselves already, become a Buddhgala Vatti, they come out already. Buddhgala, remember Buddhgala mean the living beings. Always we chant the sutra, Buddhgala, it's the same word here, Buddhgala. I think Mr. Leung, you should bring all this and the Abhidhamma calculations to your retreat friend and to confuse them so that and make them hardly meditate. Okay, these are very okay, so you have to think a lot of this. Then you see, the kind of the subtle self which are being as an organic as a whole, neither the same as nor distinct from them. Okay, and then neither identical nor different, and then neither eternal nor non-eternal. See or not? Neither same nor distinct, neither identical nor different, neither eternal or non-eternal. Yes. You should share with them before the meditation retreat. So during the retreat, they will all think about all this kind of stuff. Because all these are actually quite hard for you to understand, right? Because they neither know, so we don't know what exactly is it. So this is the try to discuss about that. Okay. And then you see here, they say, don't be criticized by all other Buddhist schools. The Buddhalavadi were quite successful, even though a lot of criticism, but they are quite successful. And in the 7th century, under patronage of the Emperor Hassan, you see or not? So meaning to say that no matter how, if you wish to be successful, you must be supported by the king. This is the eternal. This is the facts. In China, basically, if once a Buddhism supported by the king, a lot of temples will be built up. So the king will just offer to many monks, okay, because they are rich. And during at that time, translation of the Tripitaka need quite a big number of people in order to involve to the translation. Same with this Bukalavatin. Even though they use a substantial style, some sounds nonsense, but as long as you get the support from the king, then you will be everywhere already a temple. Okay, see or not? But nowadays, without support of the king, you can be very popular. You know how, Sally? You know how? Even without the king nowadays.
Something wrong with my phone, people.
Yes. So why? Without the king?
Through internet.
Yes, internet. You see, I meaning to say that the factor, the determining factor for the prosperous of religions nowadays, we don't depend on the king anymore. We depend on the internet. Who can play the internet, who can dominate in the internet? You have to find a say. But anyway, it seems everybody is in the internet already. So how popular you are, you see how many likes in your Facebook and how many people share. But unfortunately, my like and share is so minimal in my Facebook. So if you got free, hey, like more, Mr. Leong, no swearing, just like me and share. My one is quite bad respond. So I meaning to say I already I almost die out in the internet world already. Why? I know why, because I target middle-aged and old people. Middle-aged and old people, they are not so active in internet, Facebook, all this Instagram, TikTok, or compared with a youngster. So even though it's very big, but in my class, this class is quite few people, but Chinese class usually more than that. And then usually my 1 day, my 2-3 day retreats just released only, then full house already, sold out already, all full house already, all the space. So I am still popular, even though internet very minimum likes. See or not? So sometimes it depends on who you target then they are the one whether they are technology savvy or not. It's quite hard to say. Okay, let's take a look. Then besides, you say, besides Pukalavadin, there will be Vasiputriya and Samadhiya. Okay, Vasiputriya. Okay, do you see where is the Vasiputriya class? Do you see where is the Vasiputriya? Hey, take a look to the screen. Vasiputriya, do you see? Do you see Vasiputriya? You see, right? Okay, above what? Mahisasaka, right?
Yes.
Vasiputriya, yeah, Vasiputriya. Okay, we see already, okay? Then we have discovered one more jewels. You see, Samadhiya. Class, do you see where is a Samadhiya?
Yes.
Where is it? Above what?
A straight line.
Here, right? Chana Girika, above a Chana Girika, right? Samadhiya, do you see? Okay, huh?
Yes.
So you see, meaning to say, we see Samatya and Vasiputriya. According to Xuan Zhuang, about 7th century, he reached Indian. Samatya is very popular. Just like nowadays, the Theravada, everywhere the temple, huh? But nowadays we don't see them anymore. So why the text mentioned these two schools? Let's take a look. You say, class, you see, they later die out. However, only a few short texts of the survive. You see, you know? So meaning to say, these two schools, a few texts only survive only. Basically, all die out already. Nowadays, if I ask you a way to look for the Sarvastivada, can you tell me where can you find the Sangha from Sarvastivada nowadays? Not in the textbook lah. It's in the brain nowadays. Where is it? Where are the Sarvastivada? Have you ever heard about the Sarvastivada school nowadays? No, they die already. But you can find them only in the Tripitaka. Yeah, they die out, but they still remain. But not a few line sentences. They got abundant from Sarvastivada. Okay, Theravada nowadays, can we find them? Theravada.
Yes, everywhere.
Yes. Where is it? We can find them.
Here, Malaysia, Thailand.
Thailand, Malaysia, Singapore, wherever the way they wear the robe in this way, they all Theravada. Thailand, Myanmar, all the style. So meaning to say, basically, all this Theravada we mentioned actually is not the real Theravada. Historically, we call it as a Tamrat Satya. That will be correct. Tamrat Satya. Then they come from Vipacha Vatin. And then from this Vipacha Vatin, basically they are from how to say Theravada. Here's a Theravada basically. Theravada. Then one Stivara break to the Vipacha Vatin and come to the Tamrat Satya. But all this, if you go to the monastery and tell them, they don't know what you're talking about. For them they say, no, we are Buddha teaching. We are solely from Buddha only. They thought they would think it this way. Am I right? So this is their perception. Very different from the history. Okay, then let's take a look. Now you see, Sarvastivada later become the dominant school already. Why? Because in the northwest are under patronage of the Kanishka #1. So Sarvastivada, yes, they are very influential here with the king of the Kanishka. So this is with the support of the king. A lot of Abhidhamma commentary had been compiled at that time. A lot of which all have been brought back by Xuan Zhuang. Class, you know or not? Xuan Zhuang, during this time, Xuan Zhuang go to the Indian, you know. Let me show you. So this is a Xuan Zhuang. Okay, so this is the Xuan Zhuang. He start travel to the China about 7th century. The purpose is to look for the sutra from the mind only school. We call it as mind. This is a Xuan Zhuang, a Chinese monk. This is a little bit ugly. Not a good word. This look better. Here is a Xuan Zhuang. Okay, then once Xuan Zhuang he reached northwest India here. Once he reached here, okay, he requests for the Abhidhamma. Basically, they are very generous. They say, just take whatever you like. Just take. So that's why he brought back a lot of Tripitaka. Until now, 100 volume of the Taisha Tripitaka, about 1/3 is come from Xuan Zhuang. And luckily at that time, usually at that time actually they got a lot of monastery, Buddhist monastery here. Before the popularity of the Muslim, they're all Buddhists. They are very generous. They just give them whatever Xuan Zhuang want. So Xuan Zhuang then later on take take back all to the China. And then that's why China we got 100 variant of Tipitaka, and we know the Sarvastivada. Why it's so important? The important thing is basically, if you found something very unique in the Theravada, no matter Sutra, Abhidhamma, or the Vinaya, you can check if the Sarvastivada also possesses this type of the theory, meaning to say it's supposed to be Buddha saying. Whereas if you don't have, if you know nothing to compare with the Sarvastivada, you just alone with the Theravada, some facts you feel very odd at the same time like coincidentally you find it in other kapha, then you may thought it is not Buddhism origin from it is not origin from the Buddhism. So that's the reason why. For example, we go to observe the Kalapa during the Vipassana, which is popular in the Myanmar. Thailand, they disagree because they say, no what, we don't see any Nikaya talk about the Kalapa. See or not? But actually, this type of Kalapa observation not only available in the Visuddhimagga, we feel in the Sarvastivada also. So whereas the Sarvastivada and the and this Toy Timsa, they split from one center, from one mother. So meaning to say that before they split, this type of Kalapa perception is already common in the Buddhism already. But whereas for the Thai monk, since they don't see in the Nikaya, they thought it might be from other Hinduism or what. So you see, so that's why if you know. If you understand the schism and you can read more sutra, you can trace it back before the schism happened, the Buddhism theory. Okay, so this is the advantage by knowing this. Then again, let's take a look here. Okay, then you see Kandiska number 1, very influential in Central Asia. Central Asia. Their canonical Abhidhamma survive in Chinese translation. But the author do a very good study. They're better known for what you see. They say not only present Dharma exists, but also past and the future one. They all exist. Not the present only. Past and future also exist. Then they argue that past and future must have an object which are existent. Past and future have an object existent. Then the past Dharma must exist in order to explain how past karma affect the present. Okay, class, for example, okay, we say the Dharma got present, past, and the future. You see, now I'm seeing you all, right? You can see me now, right? So we're in the present. It is correct. And then Sally and you all become my object. Become object, come to my eye. Okay, then my brain go to interpret. It's the present, right? For Sarvastivada, he mentioned that actually this type of object, but later on, once the class dismissed, he said basically the present will become the past for the future. It is correct. The present will become the past for the future. You say, once we are in the moment of the future, at that time, here the past, the object still exists. But I think it can be exist, but must be in the brain. It is correct. You see, now the object exists. I see you. It is not from the brain, it's from the external one. I see you, you see me, object present through the eye, and then go to the brain. But if you insist that the object even also present, the past object present, meaning to say that it must be in the brain. You see, now we try to recall morning what is our breakfast, what we can recall. The reason is because the object is exists. Mrs. Leong, 你早晨食咩啊？諗下睇，你早晨食啲咩？
食包。
食包。So meaning to say the 包 is the object. So it must be present in the brain. Then Mrs. Leong can say, recall it. Say, oh, yes, 我食包. And this will influence present one. Of course, what? It will influence present. How do we influence the present? Mrs. Leong 點解你揾包嚟食？
肚餓啦。
係咪舊擺啊？你食包食到好好食，所以你再食多一擺啱冇先？係咪？
呢肚餓，
我知道肚餓，但係你會揾包，你唔揾麵，係咪個包舊擺食都好好食？所以我今日早晨再食一拜。See or not, class? We need to say the past object will influence the present. See or not? Logic what, right? And now 如果你今日早晨個包唔好食你聽日會再食冇？
唔會。
唔會，you see? Meaning to say it will influence the future. Logic what? See or not? So meaning to say Savastivada, the way is very logic, the way I see it. Okay, but the Theravada nowadays, they disagree. They say no, only present is exists only. Let's take a look. See or not? You see, their opponent, I mean the Theravada, the Taoist themselves, now the Theravada, they argue that only present Dharma exists, and the effect producing impedance of the past karma continue in the present. So this is how the argument is that only present Dharma exists. Effect producing impedance of the past karma continue in the present. They say the effect continue in the present. So this is a different. They say the effect from the past influence to the present is the effect from the past. But for Savastivada, they say that no, the past is still exists and the object also exists. One argue that the influence is from the effect. One is argue that the influence is from the object. See the difference? Okay, Sally, enjoy this type of theory. Better than the calculation, right? Yeah, Mr. Leong, share it before the retreat. Let them just think. No need to meditate already.
They did the wrong thing,
Yeah, the thing about Savastivada.
Yeah.
Still Dharma what? Savastivada, Mahayana. The Dharma present, past, future, all this type of stuff. Then you see, the Savastivada held the past and future Dharma differ from things which are pure illusion. You see or not? According to the Savastivada, they say, this is not a pure illusion for the Savastivada, they say, from the conceptual label of the God of Dharma, in that they each have a specific own nature, a unique defining characteristic that is intrinsic to it and is present whenever and however it exists. Okay, okay. You see, Mrs. Leong 頭先食包嘛present 嘛then it's a past and then 呢個包唔好食 in the future 我打算唔食。Okay, Savastivada said that this object 呢個尋日嘅包 and 聽日嘅包 they said this is not an illusion, this is intrinsic its nature. Are you agree? Mr. Leong, Sally, are you agree? It says not illusion. Just now, Mr. Leong had to recall 個包尋日舊擺食過嘅they said this is not illusion. They got an intrinsic in nature.
It's an intrinsic illusion as a subconscious.
So you mix it together, Sally, how about you think? You think it's an intrinsic nature, or you think it's an illusion? Or you want to mix both? Well, she keep on struggling with the mic, Mr. Long just enjoy her struggling, because once your sound, your tune is very bad due to the Wi-Fi, Sally always make fun with you, So now it's time for you to
Now my time to take revenge,
Yes, should be revenge.
Don't be so bad.
Yeah, Sally, is this an illusion or it is
Both of them also correct.
both are correct? No, but no, both are contradict. One is says illusion, one is intrinsic nature. Savastivada said no, they got intrinsic nature one. The past, Mr. Leong 舊擺食嗰個包佢講嘅 intrinsic nature. No middle one. You must take a stand. Either support Palestinian or what or Israel. You cannot say you don't support. You must take one stand. Yeah, very hard okay because they say intrinsic nature. Actually, we need to know further intrinsic nature. What does that mean? 佢攞唔出嚟嘛，係咪 ？It's already past 咗，都過咗去咗啊，啱唔啱先？你最多係 recall 咁係嘛？你 recall 係咪個包會走出嚟啦？嗬，in subconscious mind，of course it will appear 啦，嗬。But why how do you define? For us, it's an illusion. Am I right? It's supposed to be illusion, but illusion got object. Sure got object what? Because it come with the object. 我哋個包我哋度諗會走出嚟嘛？It is the object. Of course what? But it is not present already. It's a past thing already. So we call it as an illusion. Maybe they see it's not illusion because it is so intrinsic in nature. I think maybe it's this way. So you know what I say? You know what I'm saying? Why they are not illusion? Because they are intrinsic in nature. So that's why it's not illusion. That's how they see. Why are you staring me in this way?
So Sifu, which is which now?
No, according to Theravada, they say it's not illusion. But we have to discuss it because this is the major perception for the Sarvastivada. You know, Sarvastivada so influential, very big. Our Tripitaka 100 volume, Abhidhamma mostly is from the Sarvastivada one, only in Chinese only. So this perception you can understand. So meaning to say you cannot go inside. The palace of the Sarvastivada. You have to go in. So you have to know this is important thing. If you say you started the history of Buddhism before, people should ask you what does it mean Sarvastivada? Past, present, future, intrinsic nature. You agree? You have to talk about that. This is the point to show your professionalism. If you cannot talk about that, people think you are bluffing. They maybe superficially understand history of Buddhism. So you got to meditate on it. So Mr. Leong, in next session, don't pay attention on your breath. Just pay attention to the Sarvastivada.
Yeah. Actually, concentrating on the breath, time and tired, struggling.
Oh yeah, so just empty the mind
The way. And then also, Sifu,
yes.
intrinsic nature of mind should not exist because everything is impermanent.
No, this is a definition problem because they talk about intrinsic nature as the ultimate truth. But the ultimate truth, because if the past it doesn't exist, how could it influence the present? Because we all inherited from the past. What, Mr. Leong, right? I see or not? You see, now we got a nama. Okay, we got our nama, right? Okay, so this is come from 4 elements. They are the intrinsic nature. They are the reality. What? Okay. So now is 3:23. The time 3:23 p.m. Okay. When it comes to 3:24 p.m., meaning to say that when you go to 3:24 p.m. Now the present becomes the past already. And then even though this is the 4 element, its intrinsic nature is also go through along the time. See or not, Mr. Leong? So without the past, we got the present. Without the present, we got the future. It must be the intrinsic nature persistent along the time. Am I right? For this physical body, I can explain this way but here the Dharma can be including the information in the brain, including all the information stored in the brain. So this is a discussion issue. That's why the people who prefer write the thesis in all this subject because there's no conclusion one. Even after the whole library with all this academic study, but still no conclusion. But for those
for you, in case during Buddha's time, what do you think Buddha will implement? Will suggest?
Suggest
answer.
You mean suggest present exists only or past, present, future? You mean
Yes.
I'm not the Buddha. I don't know. I'm not the Buddha. Yeah, I'm not the Buddha. So how do I know?
Good sharing, good discussion.
No. We expand our horizon. Better than just kata di bawah tempurung better than that lah, so we know more thing lah.
At least we open our mind for investigation.
Yes. Then remember meditate over it lah, Mr. Leong, later on. Okay, you see, here, according you say, this one, they have their specific own nature, you see, they say, a unique defining characteristic that is intrinsic to it and is present. You see, Mr. Leong, whenever and however, it exists, you know. So it still exists, you see, you know. There was a related tendency to rectify them as fundamental and indivisible ultimate reality. Yes, it's Sawasdiwada Abhidhamma same. For them, there will be some indivisible ultimate reality, meaning to say that for one kalapa, okay, this kalapa is the finest part, which is indivisible. But inside you will see water, air, fire, so you cannot divide them anymore. This is the ultimate reality for the water, fire, all this type of stuff. Okay, see or not? So this is their school. They were seen as a primary existent. Okay, they seen as a primary existent. While everyday reality such as the tree and the people were seen as a secondary conceptual one. Okay, there's no problem. So for example now, okay, I see Mr. Leong, okay, so Mr. Leong is a secondary, is a conceptual, because Mr. Leong is consists of the hair, the skin, the teeth, the organ of the body, and then from all this, if I further analyze, they become atom. It is correct. So meaning to say that once I analyze to the finest particle, the atom, and inside the atom, the water, fire, element, all this we call it as the ultimate reality lah. Yeah, we still don't want to sleep already. We are about finished, no problem. You see, okay. For example, the only reality that a person has is that the cluster of the Dharma that the conceptual labor person apply, meaning to say that the real reality is behind the conceptual. Okay, no problem. Just like the sesame oil is under the sesame. We no need to find the sesame oil out from the sesame seed. You just from the sesame can get the oil already. Likewise, the ultimate truth you can find is just within our conceptual personally. Then it's hide inside. You just analyze it, then you're able to see them to appear. And next, let's take a look. You see, moreover, which binds Dharma together in a person was itself a Dharma, known as a possession. A possession, so I don't really know. The bind the Dharma together in a person was itself a Dharma. This one I don't really know. This one. Okay. We start our class today. Okay, so remember, okay, in next lesson, either do more calculation in Abhidhamma or think about this Savastivada during your meditation and the boring moment. Hey, as a weekend entertainment, okay, yes, Mr. Leong.
I want to ask regarding this Dharma with a small D alphabet. It actually means a phenomena, but then the thing is here it stands for the big D Dharma or the teachings of the Buddha.
Yeah, actually, no matter small D, big D, they must have a footnote for us to tell us.
Right, because it's confusing and people.
Yeah, confusing. Yes. Yeah, basically must have a footnote to show us. Because the words got so many meanings, you see, very confusing. See or not? Okay. Never mind. Class dismissed already, so the nightmare began already. Okay, I will transfer the merit lah. Okay.